and welcome back to Tiny Artist TV. This is the third video in the AuGhost series that I'm doing for the month of August. If you're unfamiliar with what AuGhost is, it is a daily drawing challenge that's been going on for at least like 6 or 7 years at this point, I believe. And today is going to be another combination video, but instead of doing 3 separate prompts, I'm going to be squishing them into one idea, because today's prompts are flavor, rad, and eldritch. So stick around to see how I combine those for today's video. Now, to start off, I'm sure most of you who are watching my channel have at least a passing idea of what eldritch is, but for those of you who are unfamiliar with that term, it is simply defined as something that is weird and sinister or ghostly, and it is more closely tied with the phrase eldritch horror, popularized by the xenophobic, racist, plagiarist H.P. Lovecraft. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to get into that rabbit hole, feel free to just look him up and look into a little bit what he's about. But most people are familiar with the term eldritch or eldritch horror through his works, namely through Cthulhu, the King in Yellow, Azathoth, creatures of that nature. So, for today's video, I'm going to be making a little 50-cent comic book cover inspired by not necessarily those creatures per se, but just the idea of something like otherworldly and unknowable and just sort of generally like creepy, and give it sort of a like Goonies fun, like kids on an adventure spin, because they are on the hunt for the rad eldritch flavor. So what is the rad eldritch flavor? Well, you'll have to pick up the book to find out, because within the pages of this comic is the real map that shows you the location of the rad eldritch flavor. Now, there have only been a few survivors to tell the tale, and there is only one copy of this comic that gets passed around from adventuring group to adventuring group, and most people don't survive the journey, and it somehow ends up in a sort of mystery menagerie shop, you know, sort of like the, what are those creatures called? The gizmo. Oh, no! What is it? I was struggling to remember the name. Gremlins! Come on! Anyway, the little creatures, and those who do find the rad eldritch flavor and are able to taste it go mad once they return to the world with the knowledge of this incredible, unknowable flavor. Everything in comparison tastes dull and lifeless, and so they go crazy looking to sort of recreate that flavor in their own world, and are unable to do it because it's only available in this one source. And once you find it, it becomes hidden. It moves to a completely separate location, and the map changes, and most people don't survive the trip more than once. So that's kind of the idea behind today's like little comic book combination prompts. It's just something fun. It's a little spooky. Again, because the style is like 1940s, 1950s, crunchy Saturday morning 50-cent comics, and so I don't have to make it look pretty, which is nice, because I'm doing this video day of, and so I'm kind of speeding through getting this prompt done to get the video out to you guys. So yeah, here we go. It is not lost on me that this idea does sound similar to, for those of you who are familiar with Kids Next Door, there was an episode where they went for the hunt for, I believe it was the 4th flavor. So basically there was chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and then there was this secret 4th golden flavor. So really that episode was more like Indiana Jones coded, but very much could have been like eldritch flavor for kids. And so I had not even thought of that when I had come up with this idea, but after I started working on it, I was like, oh, someone's probably going to mention that this sounds like this other thing, and it does sound like this other thing, but it is not inspired or affiliated with that in any way. It's just a happy little coincidence. That is it for this video, which concludes the third video in the AuGhost series. I hope this one was a fun time. I also kind of really enjoyed that. So not only does this look like a, you know, sort of retro-inspired comic book, but it also looks like a cursed cereal box. So I would love it if someone actually made this mystery eldritch flavor cereal. That's probably not going to happen, but it would absolutely tickle my funny bones if it did. But that's enough rambling. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a weird day.